Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rich Bradley, President of the Board of Public Service. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Public Service for Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. This is a public meeting and there are no lettings today, but we do have one hearing which we will handle before we get to our regular business meeting. So without further ado, we will handle hearing number 8271. This hearing numbered 8271 is being conducted pursuant to Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. The applicant, Jeremy Lambert, DBA Trust Tattoo Establishment, is proposing to operate a tattoo parlor at 4636 Gravois Avenue, first floor. Due to the nature of the business, the applicant is required to hold a license issued by this board pursuant to the guidelines of Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. Procedural history. January 23rd, 2023. The applicant submits to BPS a completed BPS tattoo parlor license application numbered 131361 for 6 chairs, 5 tattoo chairs, for the proposed premise at 4636 Gravois Avenue, first floor. January 23rd, 2023, a letter from the Health Commissioner on worry to BPS, finding no evidence of health code violations at the facility at 4636 Gravois Avenue, apartment F2, first floor, and recommending issuance of a BPS license for a tattoo parlor. February 8th, 2023, certificate of occupancy and zoning numbered OP-80-23 issued to Jeremy T. Lambert, DBA Trust, for the use of 4636 Gravois Avenue, first floor, as a tattoo studio with no retail sales or piercing services. February 8th, 2023, a certificate of conditional use permit numbered as 131392 issued to Jeremy T. Lambert, DBA Trust, to occupy 4636 Gravois Avenue, first floor, as a tattoo studio with no retail sales, no piercings, and with conditions. As outlined in section 8.97.070 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis, the Board of Public Service may approve such application after a hearing if it is satisfied that the applicant is of good moral character and the applicant has given evidence that he will be able to operate the premise in compliance with all regulations and laws governing such premise, and the applicant is a resident of the state and his neighborhood consent petition is in due form, and the applicant's premise are not within 500 feet of an elementary school. The Board of Public Service has in its possession and is therefore admitted to evidence the following documents. Item 1, a certified copy of Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the applicant's file with the Office of Secretary, Board of Public Service, which include, but is not limited to, A, the above referenced license application, withdrawing of the proposed premise, and B, public notices that were published and posted for today's hearing. Item 3, a copy of the certificate of occupancy and zoning issued for 4636 Gravois Avenue, first floor, to be occupied as a tattoo studio with no retail sales or piercings. Item 4, a letter from the Health Commissioner, Victoria Onworry, stating that the community sanitation staff inspected the facility at 4636 Gravois Avenue, apartment F2, first floor, and found no evidence of health code violations. The issuance of the license for a tattoo establishment was recommended. Item 5, a certificate of conditional use permit numbered as 131392 issued to Jeremy T. Lambert, DBA Trust, to occupy 4636 Gravois Avenue, first floor, as a tattoo studio with no retail sales, no piercings, and with conditions. The board will swear in and hear from the applicant and those in support of the applicant's proposed use. The board will then allow anyone in opposition of the tattoo parlor to address the board. After each side has had an opportunity to speak, the board will then allow for rebuttal. At this time, the board asks the applicant to please come forward and be sworn in.
Hello, Jeremy. You can unmute yourself, please.
Oh, there we go.
Could you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Could you please state your name for the board?
Jeremy T. Lambert.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lambert. I have a series of questions we will walk through, and then at the end of those, I will give you an opportunity to state anything you would like for the board, okay?
All right.
Okay. Question number one, are you a resident of the state of Missouri?
Yes. I actually bought the whole building and live above it. So,
Number two, have you knowingly signed the BPS waiver of notice for this hearing, which is included in today's evidence, and waives you the right to claim insufficient notice of this conditional use hearing?
yes.
Item three, the state of Missouri requires that tattoo establishments be issued a license from the director of the Division of Professional Registration of the state of Missouri for operation. Do you have a license for this proposed tattoo establishment issued by the director of the Division of Professional Registration of the state of Missouri?
Yes, I do.
Question four, how many tattoo chairs are being applied for?
5, and then there's just an extra room in the back that possibly for cosmetic tattooing, lips and eyeliner and that.
Okay, and are you aware that any increase in the number of tattoo chairs must be applied for with this board?
Yes.
Okay. Number 5, how many employees will you have at this establishment?
There will be myself and 2 other ladies for now.
And do all the tattoo artists have their Missouri state licensure?
Yes, they do.
And 6, will you be able to comply with all the provisions of chapter 8.97 of the revised code of the city of St. Louis, including the following, and I'll cue you after each one. A, do you understand that you as the operator of this tattoo parlor are at all times responsible for the orderly conduct of the establishment and the acts of any of your agents, servants, or employees in the operation of the same?
Yes.
B, do you understand that tattoo establishments may only be open between 9 a.m. and 1 a.m.?
Yes.
And what are your proposed hours of operation?
I would be 11 a.m. typically and no later than 9 p.m. I'm usually out of here by 6 o'clock most days though.
C, do you understand that tattoo parlors shall be kept clean and well lighted so that the rear of the premise is plainly visible from the front of the premise?
Yes.
And will you be able to maintain this tattoo establishment in that manner?
Yes.
And finally, D, do you understand that no tattoo parlor shall allow or permit any loud noises, boisterous or disorderly conduct in or around the premise or on the grounds of such premise, and the operator shall prevent the loitering of persons on the premise or around the premise of the tattoo parlor?
Yes. And I've been doing a good job of that and making sure the front of the place is nice and clean and all that.
And will you be able to comply with all these regulations?
Yes, no problem.
Okay, so the formal questioning is completed. I'd like to open the floor for you to say anything you would like to the board.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time on this beautiful afternoon. No crazy wind today. Anyway, the shop has been really coming along. I did a lot of nice work in here, like a marble epoxy flooring in the front area. So when you walk in, it looks really sharp and classy and just clean. Not the typical scary, tattoo shop like some people may think, but no, I wanted to do just nice and clean. I've been doing it 18 years now and was just ready to invest in myself and also in the Bevo community here. And I've had some ties through Bevo for, nearly 10 years now. And I'm glad to be part of the area. Like I said, I bought the whole building and living above it with my son. And we're excited for this. And I know there's a lot of other people in the neighborhood and other adjoining restaurants and everything else that are really in support and excited to see the place as well.
Okay, thank you very much for your testimony. At this time, I'd like to open the floor up for questions from any of our board directors. Okay, seeing no questions, thank you, Mr. Lambert. You can please mute yourself.
All right.
If there's anyone in favor of the applicant's proposed establishment that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. I do not see anyone else on the screen. I don't see anyone in the chat. If there's anyone there, please call my attention now. Okay, let the record reflect that there's no one here today to testify in favor of the proposed establishment. Now, if there's anyone in opposition to the proposed establishment or the applicant that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. Again, I don't see anyone on the screen. I don't see anything in the chat. If you're here and you wish to testify in opposition, please bring it to my attention at this moment. Okay, seeing none, let the record reflect that there's also no one in opposition to the applicant or the proposed establishment that wishes to testify today. The matter concerning hearing number 8271 is now closed and submitted. The board will deliberate this matter following the remaining agenda items. This time, I'll ask Secretary to please call the roll.
Director Coyle is excused. Director Davis,
Present.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Scoggin,
Present.
Director Scobie,
Present.
Director Williams,
Present.
President Bradley.
Present, we have a quorum. I'll call the meeting order.
Regular business from the president. Recommendation that approval be given as follows. Amendment number 1 to contract number 77776 for Met Service contract with St. Louis Mat and Linen Company. This first amendment hereby renews the contract for an additional 1-year term to terminate on March 31st, 2024, and increases the contract max not to exceed $125,000. From the Office of Special Events, request for the following to be approved, subject to certain conditions. 4 special events to be declared as festival zones. Downtown St. Patrick's Day Parade will take place throughout downtown streets and parks on March the 11th. The run will be at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the parade will be from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Set up and tear down will be on March 8th at 6 p.m. and March 13th at 7 a.m. Chef Life Stout and Oyster Fest will take place on Locust Street between 21st and 22nd Street on March 23rd and 24th from 5 to 9 p.m. and on March 25th from 11 to 9 p.m. Set up and tear down will be on March 21st at 7 a.m. and March 28th at 7 p.m. Cardinals Open Day Rally will take place at Kena Plaza and surrounding streets on March 30th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Set up and tear down will be on March 29th at 8 a.m. and March 31st at 12 p.m. Kegs and Eggs Opening Day will take place on March 30th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Set up and tear down will be on March 29th at 8 a.m. and March 31st at 12 p.m. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the board declares as emergency action the following. Hauling construction debris services. This work is necessary for completion of water main repairs. From the Directors of Public Safety and Utilities, joint recommendation that the following be approved. subject to certain conditions. Request from Jeremy Roth to subdivide 0.628 acres into 26 lots, 8 buildings at 5010 Daggett Avenue in City Block 4085. Request from Minute Surveying LLC to adjust the boundary plat at 59 Wilmore Road in City Block 6325. Request from Daniel Eggers to subdivide the lot at 2351 Virginia Avenue in City Block 1436. Request from Clarence Broadway LLC, Stock and Associates, to consolidate multiple lots at 5800 North Broadway in City Blocks 3444, 3445, 3446, and 3447. Request from Judith Warnell to consolidate the lots at 4705 Kensington Avenue in City Block 5057, being a part of lots 51 through 58 in Bill Avenue addition. Request from Lux Living to consolidate the properties at 4339 and 4359 Linda Boulevard in City Block 3908. We have 5 conditional use from the Director of Public Safety.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. My name is Evan Winkler, zoning and plan examiner for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioner at today's meeting. Per board order number 766, transmitted herewith are recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval is recommended for one application, 5501 Delmar Boulevard. Approval with conditions is recommended for 4 applications. 1224 Washington Avenue, Unit 8B, 4823 Page Boulevard, 4337 Shreve Avenue, 5625 Gravois Avenue. I request that these recommendations be approved as submitted.
Thank you, Evan. Are there any questions or comments on today's conditional uses from any of our board directors?
I move to approve. Scobie.
Is there a second?
Second, Davis.
Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Coyle is excused. Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Scoggin,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, today's conditional uses are approved. Hearing number 8271 for Trust Tattoo Establishment, 4636 Gravois Avenue. We heard from our applicant, Mr. Jeremy T. Lambert, that he will comply with all provisions of Chapter 8.97 of the revised code. All of his tattoo artists have Missouri state licensure, and his establishment is in compliance with all recommendations of the Director and Commissioner of Health. There was no one to speak in support and no one to speak in opposition. So at this time, I'll open the floor for any discussion on this matter.
This is Hayes. I make a recommendation to approve.
Second, Williams.
I have a motion to approve in a second. Any further discussion?
I just wish.
None. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Coyle is excused. Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Scoggin,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, hearing 8271 is approved. Thank you, Mr. Lambert. I'd
Thank
like to
you.
turn your attention to our meeting minutes from last Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. Are there any questions or comments on our meeting minutes as presented?
Am I all right to leave the meeting? Sorry.
Yes, you're good to go.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Thank you. You too. Seeing
Thanks.
none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes, please.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Director Coyle is excused. Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Scoggin,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, the meeting minutes are approved. Today's meeting agenda, are there any questions or comments on our BPS meeting agenda today? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, please.
So moved, Davis.
Second, Scoggin.
Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Coyle is excused. Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Scoggin,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, today's meeting agenda is approved. Before we adjourn, are there any questions or comments from any of our board directors? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved, Hayes.
Second, Scoggin.
Thank you, directors. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Have a wonderful, beautiful afternoon.
Thank you.